It ain't no way Jake Paul is still butthurt about this Drewski skit.
What's the issue? If Drewski, first of all, comedy should be allowed in the world, right? Do you believe? Is exactly my point, though, is that it's a double standard. Everyone should be able to make fun of everyone.
Don't know that. Now, what you stood up for, as which...
I don't understand what you're saying.
All right, let me break. That's the fact that I just said all this and you didn't understand it. You don't even know the history behind the comments you made.
Just recently, Waka Flocka sat down with Jake Paul of all people and pressed him about the whole blackface thing in response to Drewski. And I definitely appreciate Waka for doing this because he could have just sat there and played in his face and just been tap dancing on some Kevin Hart shit. You know what I'm saying? And not talked about it at all. But he tried to sit there and educate him and have a civil conversation. But it's one thing that my mama told me that I would just never forget. You can talk to somebody and show as much proof and evidence as you want until you turn blue in the face, but until they want to see it, they just won't. And this is how Trump gets all of his supporters that hang off every single word that he says. Every single word that he says is true. And they swear that they're not in a cult.
I don't think any men should be in any women's restrooms, dressing rooms, or any women's sports.
Okay, what do you think should happen to a man that intentionally walked into a private woman's dressing room to look at them while they're naked?
I think they should be arrested.
They should be arrested? I would argue that they should be thrown in jail for the rest of their life. I just don't really think that they're too beneficial to society.
I agree.
Are you a Trump supporter?
I am.
Here's a clip of Donald Trump boasting about walking into a private woman's dressing room to look at the naked people inside.
We say hello with vagina. What you could also say is the owner of...
Well, and everybody plays stuff and they can make it seem like it's something different.
Listen to it.
I'll tell you the funniest thing.
It's not AI.
Because it came out in 2005.
Well, that was 20 years ago. People change all the time. That was 20 years ago.
But now you're saying...
We got to go to dinner right now.
But you're saying that because it happened 20 years ago, you're okay with him, but you just said if it was anybody but Trump, they should be thrown in jail for the rest of their life.
Anybody but Trump.
Okay.
But they shouldn't be.
But do you still support Trump?
He's never, I still do.
Okay, do you want to listen to him admitting to it, or do you got to go?
I don't. Oh, I got to get this.
Okay, all right.
What made me say it? Why would I say it? What do you mean?
Now, granted, I don't know what the fuck he's even doing over here in general. Like, especially knowing that he knows about the controversy that he just got in.
Yeah, of course I know the history.
He does not know the history, bro. He thinks he knows the history. He thinks the history is just as deep as, this person wore black paint on his face at a show pretending to be a black person, and that was it. No harm done. But that was completely the furthest thing from the truth. What Blackface was doing was pushing very harmful and dangerous and ignorant just stereotypes and rhetoric about people that just weren't even true. And the people that were in these shows that were doing blackface were essentially using it as a tool to propagandize against black Americans. And obviously what people see in the show would bleed over into real life because they think that is true. It's kind of like when you watch a show and you see a villain and they killed off your favorite character, right? So then you see the actual actor that played that villain in real life, and then you get mad at the actor because they killed off your favorite character, even though none of it's real. So black people's lives have gotten worse because of that. But if you were to take one of Drewski's skits, for instance, where he's portraying a white person, everybody knows that those are just jokes. That's an exaggeration.
Get on your feet, boy!
No, I do. I would love to.
Shaking his hand is crazy though, I ain't gonna lie. Dude literally hanging around with a white supremacist.
No, what's the issue? If Drewski, first of all, comedy should be allowed in the world, right? Do you believe in that? Do you believe in comedy?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
So, but that's an oxymoron. That's a footy amongst you say comedy should be accepted because that blackface shit is not comedy. It's disrespectful to the culture of people that got dark skin.
So do you think whiteface is disrespectful?
Whiteface too. White chick's a movie. How is it disrespectful?
I don't think it's disrespectful.
Me neither.
I think it's funny. I think we should all be able to. And no, but this is exactly my point though. This is exactly my point though. Is that it's a double standard. Everyone should be able to make fun of everyone.
But it's just not a double standard, like. And you could tell that even though it's been like 2 months now, he just still does not get it. The types of characters that Drewski portrays in his skits, they aren't getting harassed and tortured. Their livelihoods and well-being are not affected at all. Although the same cannot be said about the history of blackface. And certain characters like the Black Brute and Buck stereotypes were used in these shows. These stereotypes depicted black men as hyper-violent and sexually predatory, often used to justify acts of racial violence, including lynching. The Brute archetype portrayed black men as innately savage, while the Buck stereotype added a layer of sexual threat, specifically alleging a desire to assault white women. So the racist white supremacists of this time were using these characters to justify racial violence. That's why that shit is not funny. Ain't nobody did nothing to no white women or no white people after watching some shit like White Chicks or seeing one of Drewski's skits. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really can't do blackface without being racist. Talk about, oh, fried chicken and watermelon and stuff like that. It's just like, it's not even funny. Like, it's just corny. You know what I'm saying? Or you talk about like EBT and all this other stuff like that. But it's just like, if you can make fun of people for what they do instead of trying to portray them as something that they're not, then it's like, you know, like, okay, like, you can be funny.
But you gotta understand who you are and the volume and depth of what your words can do and what they mean, respectfully. Bro, I seen you, I talked to you, I know people that know you. I know you ain't know how deep that word was. Because you got niggas like me, bro, that just want to get active. People like that. Now, what you stood up for, that's which...
I don't understand what you're saying.
All right, let me break it. That's, the fact that I just said all this and you didn't understand it, you don't even know the history behind the comments you made. It was just, it's not like I'm being serious. I'm going to educate you, bro, because y'all ever some shit you making jokes about? Bro, folks' grandmama experienced that torture in it. Torture with no white face, but a black face?
Yeah, but I think,
red
but again, we can go into like all of this. Like, people are oppressed, different, you know, races, all of this stuff, and people should be able to make fun of it. Like, if I'm Jewish, bro, and people should be able to make fun of that, no matter what happened or what people.
I don't know, when he says that, I feel like it's just more cope than anything. Like, he's trying to pull like, oh, I'm Jewish, so we can make fun of shit like the Holocaust or some shit like that. But it's just like, some people, everybody has their sore spots, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you can make fun of black people for, let's say, the smoke alarm stuff. You know, people joke about that. You got some black people that'll like clap and run and stuff like that when they find something funny like that, like stuff like that is funny. But what usually ends up happening is that people just make jokes that aren't funny in the slightest. They aren't clever or anything. Perfect recent example is like that Tony Hinchcliffe dude that was at the Kevin Hart roast.
He got into a fist fight on a private plane, proof that no matter how much money black people have, they're still just gonna act like ninjas. Done good though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
His entire set was just straight cringe to me. Like, we don't care about being joked on, but it's like boundaries. There's lines that you don't cross, and people expect you to just expect you to not get offended at offensive stuff.
Christians in that, because I come from an era where you don't disrespect religion. You don't even talk about it. It's respect.
Yeah, so I think you're a more serious guy.
I'm not.
And I'm a more like, let's all make fun of each other and be bros. I'm friends with blacks, whites, purples, Mexicans, all of
Purples? This nigga friends with Thanos, bro. What's going on?
the above, girls, boys, Indians, all of that. So I think you're like really serious. You're really serious. You're a serious guy, and you're like, I don't want to make fun of anybody. I'm the opposite. Like, let's all make fun of each other. Let's all roast each other.
You know what I'm saying? We all want to be bros. Like, I joke with everybody. My friends are like a bag of Skittles. We from every nationality, every color, every race. But it's not about everybody being oppressed. It's about you acknowledging oppression with everyone, because God gave you a status to be somewhere to talk with empathy.
Right, just acknowledging it, bro. Just, you can joke around, people would just be respectful about it. Like, it's really not that hard to do.
Yeah, I think if they're mocking, then that's one thing. If it's like comedy, that's why I love comedians, is because they can get away with like saying and making fun of anyone or anything. And that's what I said.
Yeah, he basically just told on himself, right? He basically just wants the ability to say racist shit and face no backlash for it.
Anything, what's like bad that you happen to enjoy for the culture? Like, no, just think of one, seriously.
Waka, man, come on.
All right, in the whole it's
not a laughing matter.
This is a really good point. You see how you just said that it's not even a laughing matter, but if you talk about blackface and the history behind it and all the oppression, you know, the hundreds of years of chattel slavery, it's like, oh, that happened so long ago. Now that's a double standard. And I also find it really ironic how now he's saying that it's not a laughing matter, even though he was literally on a whole party bus with the Red Pill Avengers, and they were singing that Kanye West song, the HH.
So obvious.
He just proved my point.
It's so obvious.
No, we ain't saying this. He just proved my point. You see how he just said it's not a laughing matter? That's as serious as blackface. It's just, that wasn't a laughing matter. So meaning, let's say you came out with Kamala Harris and I came out with a joke, like, oh, I'm in the Holocaust. This is Jake Paul. And people are like, that shit ain't funny, bro. That's how it was, but since we black, it ain't that serious. But for the people of us, it's serious, bro.
You know what's crazy?
For sure. But yeah, ultimately, I can't appreciate Waka for pressing him on the matter and trying to educate him. But obviously, it went in one ear and out the other. And also, why you're there in the first place, I don't know, beats me. And I would just say that it was a waste of breath altogether, but who knows, maybe it did get to him, and maybe it'll sit and swish around in the back of his mind, and he'll finally come to terms and realize why it's wrong. But if not him, then maybe one of his fans. You never know. Always keep your head on a swivel when you're around people like this, because even though the racism isn't always blatant, and maybe they aren't even intentionally trying to be racist, that internalized racism just keeps showing their face, and it will always speak louder in their actions than in their words. But sometimes you can also pick it up too through like dog whistles and stuff like that, so just be aware. But yeah, till next time, love y'all, peace.